Hey sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. The follow-up to the famed 1952 Topps set, 1953 Topps Baseball, does not match the iconic release, but is a worthy successor thanks to an attractive design and strong checklist. Mickey Mantle, Jackie Robinson, Satchel Paige, and Willie Mays are the most popular and valuable options within the set. The beautiful 1953 Topps player portraits display some of the most vibrant colors and realism ever used in a trading card set to that point in time. The cards are slightly oversized, measuring 2 5/8 by 3 3/4 inches, with each of them resembling true miniature works of art. While every collector has their own opinion on what constitutes the best vintage Topps set, few can argue that the 1953 Topps set is among the most beautiful in terms of sheer aesthetic value. Had it not been for a decisive legal victory for Topps, the 1953 Topps set may not have been produced. The Bowman Gum Company filed a lawsuit challenging Topps over player contract violations. Fortunately for collectors, the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed the case and Topps proceeded with production. Originally planned as a 280 card set, the last 6 cards were never printed, resulting in the 274 card set as it exists today. Much smaller than the previous year's offering of 407 cards, Topps was fearful of a repeat late summer sales decline that reportedly resulted in the destruction of thousands of unsold cards in 1952. Each 1953 Topps baseball card features a solid white border and displays the player's name, position, and team, along with a large team logo. In addition, the cards include one of 2 banner areas on the bottom of the card to house the details. American League players have a bright red banner, while National League players utilize a black version. This solid color border is often the site of the most notable wear, as it bleeds right to the edge of the card itself. The player's 1952 and lifetime statistics are laid out on the reverse of each card. Biographical player data and a short write-up are also found. Finally, each card features a dugout quiz with trivia questions and a cartoon. The entire 1953 Topps baseball product run was released in multiple waves, including Series 1, cards numbers 1 to 85, Series 2, 85 to 165, Series 3, 166 to 220, and Series 4, 221 to 280. Early set collectors would have been thoroughly confused and frustrated by the numbering system, as 10 of the cards from Series 1 and 2 weren't printed with the others and instead released in a later series. As if this wasn't enough to confuse unknowing collectors, several cards from Series 4 were never produced. These printing issues were a result of the still lingering problems related to player contracts and the Bowman lawsuit. Following the trend for the period and due to the size of printing sheets employed, some 1953 Topps cards were single printed while others were double printed. While not always a conscious effort on the part of the manufacturer, certain star player cards ended up being single printed, resulting in scarcity and increased values for those cards. Among the notable single print subjects are cards of Pee Wee Reese, Mickey Mantle, Billy Martin, Yogi Berra, Phil Rizzuto, and Warren Spahn. Similar to many other vintage releases, the first and last cards in 1953 Topps carry a premium. Those card numbers were always the ones to suffer additional creasing and edge wear as a result of the dreaded rubber band used by children to hold their collections together. This increased value is further enhanced because card number 1 is none other than legendary Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson. While not a star player, the final card in the set, Milt Bowling, also carries a premium due to condition rarity and the fact that the card was also single printed. In this video, I'm going to show the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1953 Topps set based on their PSA 5 values. I'll also give the values of those cards in higher grades, as well as the population count of those grades. Now, before I get to the top 10, here are the cards that just missed the top 10. At number 15, the Roy Campanella card. At number 14, the Whitey Ford card. At number 13, the Eddie Matthews card. At number 12, the Milt Bowling short print and last card in the set. And at number 11, the Harvey Haddix short print card. So, which cards made the top 10 list? Let's go find out. At number 10, we have the Warren Spahn card. In a PSA 5, there have been 290 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $260. There have been 221 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $607. There have been 139 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $959. There have been 67 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $2,660. There have only been 3 graded at PSA 9, and the only PSA 9 sale recorded in VCP's database took place in May of 2023 through Memory Lane and sold for $48,432, actually placing the Warren Spahn at the number 4 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this top 10 list. And there has not been a single PSA 10 graded copy of the Warren Spahn card. At number 9, we have the Pee Wee Reese card. In a PSA 5, there have been 297 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $268. There have been 262 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $382. There have been 180 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $613. There have been 99 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $1,565. There have been 14 graded at PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale took place in May of 2023 through Heritage Auction and sold for $9,900. Now, there have been 2 graded at PSA 10, although in VCP's database there have been no reported sales of either of those PSA 10 graded copies, so who knows what price one of those would fetch if it would come up for sale today. At number 8, we have the Bob Feller card. In a PSA 5, there have been 349 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $269. There have been 305 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $335. There have been 181 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $689. There have been 75 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $2,425. There have only been 7 graded at PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale took place in November of 2023 through Heritage and sold for $19,200. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Bob Feller card. Coming in at number 7, we have the Jim Gilliam, which is a high number short print rookie card. In a PSA 5, there have been 206 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $273. There have been 155 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $512. There have been 85 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $866. There have been 49 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $3,769. There have only been 3 graded at PSA 9. The only PSA 9 sale recorded in VCP's database took place in September of 2007 through Memory Lane and sold for $8,384. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Jim Gilliam rookie card. At number 6, we have the Johnny Padres rookie card, which is also a high number short print. In a PSA 5, there have been 186 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $343. There have been 155 graded at PSA 6. They sell for around $391. There have been 81 graded at PSA 7. They sell for around $942. There have been 42 graded at PSA 8. They sell for around $3,255. There have only been 3 graded a PSA 9. The only PSA 9 sale in VCP's database was in December of 2006 through Mastro Auctions and sold for $4,915. And again, there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Johnny Padres rookie card. At number 5, we have the Yogi Berra card. In a PSA 5, there have been 439 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $404. There have been 293 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $640. There have been 153 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,249. There have been 82 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $3,998. There have been 8 graded a PSA 9. They sell for around $50,153, placing the Yogi Berra at the number 3 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this top 10 list. And just like the others, there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Yogi Berra card. At number 4, we have the Satchel Paige card. In a PSA 5, there have been 603 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $1,707. There have been 402 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $2,713. There have been 215 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $4,466. There have been 93 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $11,478. There have been 9 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in July of 2020 through Heritage and sold for $28,800, placing the Satchel Paige at the number 5 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this top 10 list. And again, there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Satchel Paige card. On to number 3. We have the Jackie Robinson card, card number 1 in the set. In a PSA 5, there have been 418 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $2,964. There have been 304 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $4,430. There have been 111 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $9,054. There have been 70 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $28,811. There have been 8 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in April of 2023 through REA and sold for $180,000, placing the Jackie Robinson at the number 2 spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this list. Now, there has been 1 PSA 10 graded copy, although there has not been a reported sale of that copy in VCP's database. So you have to wonder what that 1 PSA 10 would sell for if it came up for sale today. At number 2, the Willie Mays card, which is a high number short print. In a PSA 5, there have been 323 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $5,828. There have been 197 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $8,409. There have been 119 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $18,865. There have been 46 graded a PSA 8. They sell for around $186,000. There has been 1 graded a PSA 9 and 1 copy graded a PSA 10. However, there has not been a reported sale of either the PSA 9 or PSA 10 in VCP's database. So if a PSA 8 currently sells for $186,000, I can only imagine what that one PSA 9 and especially the one PSA 10 would sell for now. And of course, yes, the number one most expensive card from the 1953 top set, the Mickey Mantle card. In a PSA 5, there have been 613 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $7,282. There have been 363 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $10,722. There have been 178 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $27,564. There have been 95 graded a PSA 8, and they sell for just under $100,000 at $98,634. There have been 10 graded a PSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale was in July of 2019 through Heritage and sold for $396,000, placing the Mickey Mantle at the number one spot in terms of PSA 9 graded copies on this list. Now again, there have been 2 graded a PSA 10, but neither of those cards have any sales data reported in VCP's database. So if a PSA 9 sells for around $400,000, you can only imagine what one of those PSA 10 cards would sell for today. There you go, the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1953 Topps baseball set. Would love to know in the comments what you think about the set overall and the cards that made the top 10 list. And if you've missed any of the videos in this series, here are 2 that you can check out. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.